My name is Trisha Rose, and I'm a professor at Brown University. Visiting Youth in Action and seeing what you do just completely interrupts that whole national set of images about young people that's so devastating. The stereotypes and the mistreatment that young people, especially young working people, people who come from working families and people of color, that the stereotypes that you all face all the time make it impossible to see the gifts that you have. When your generation, or even my generation, laments the fact that we weren't old enough to have been a civil rights marcher, you know, it pretty much happened when I was a tiny baby. But we always say, you know, oh, they were so heroic and they were so disciplined, and they, you know, we think of them as adults. Many of them were children, high school students, and early college students. And so Youth in Action is this really great incubator for not just talent and protest, but leadership, reflection, planning, and strategizing about how to make the world a better place.
We've been working on this documentary for a few months now, and it's been so much fun.
So we started off by catching up with some of the people who got Youth in Action started.
My name is Misty Wilson. I am one of the original founders of Youth in Action. I was going through middle school, going from walking with a group of like 7, girls to school, to walking on my own by the time I reached 8th grade, because a lot of my friends had ended up dropping out.
My name is Paula Lopes. I work with the Rhode Island Department of Health. I go way, way back with Youth in Action when they first started in the living room of Karen Feldman. They were just kind of fed up with all of what was going on, and it didn't seem like there was anything for them.
And that's actually when we met Bert, and we were talking about this big idea. And Bert said, if you're serious, I'll do it with you, but if you're not serious, I don't want to do it. He saw people, young people who had ideas and had no idea how they were going to do them, and he took the time to have that come to life.
Youth in Action's first real home was A.S. Sutorni. We moved them into a small office at A.S. Sutorni and offered them some counsel and support. We offered them our fiscal agency. I remember having conversations with Karen whether you could actually have a board that was predominantly youth.
The board of directors, for example, being a youth-dominated board of directors, I think that was a really bold step. And having worked in a lot of other nonprofits, it's not something I've seen anyone else do. It really shows how much the leadership piece is taken seriously, and that is the goal. The idea was that we already knew what we wanted to change in our communities, and we already had a whole lot of ideas on how we could do that. But at that time, young people's voices weren't really being heard as much. Oftentimes, we were kind of puppets in other people's organizations and programs, but we had our own agency.
Yeah Team, Youth Educating About Health, has worked closely with the Department of Health in the past about comprehensive sex education, and our main purpose is to promote healthy communities overall.
Before my life at the health department, I was running a peer education program, so I subcontracted to Youth in Action, and that's how they got their feet wet with doing peer education and youth, talking to other youth about staying healthy. And that was back in the day when HIV and AIDS was really running rampant.
My name is Elizabeth Burke Bryant. I'm Executive Director of Rhode Island Kids Count. From the earliest days of our legislative advocacy, we were very, very excited to be able to work with Youth in Action so that we would be informed by an authentic and real youth voice, because who better to inform us about the policies that work to improve their lives than the youth themselves.
This year, we spoke on a panel at Roger Williams University about urban youth development and social justice.
We're working with schools, university teacher training programs, and other youth organizations to make every classroom, after-school program, and institution serving youth become more youth-driven, making Providence a better place for all of us.
We've used media and technology to communicate with a larger audience about social justice issues.
The name of our media team here at Youth in Action is Next Generation Media. Here are some clips of works we've done in the past.
So it's important for me to come out to May Day to let the world know that I'm in solidarity with all of these movements.
I have this big test coming up next week, and everything's on the line. Everything. Do you think this is crazy?
We went to Roger Williams, and the task for the teachers was basically that they had to build a marshmallow tower, and they had to do it in the vicinity that they were stuck in.
You want to live, you want to have equal opportunities just like everybody else.
There's plenty of people that came in as a participant in a program, then became a co-coordinator, then have come back and are helping to lead the program as staff people. And I think that's a beautiful vision for how the world should work, is that it's generations of people 5 years, 10 years apart, kind of helping to pull each other into that leadership spot.
So hi, my name is Christopher Castro. My role at Youth in Action has been working with the youth to help them become better leaders, facilitators, and become more involved in the community. Some of the topics that we've talked about have been self-awareness, communication, observation, problem-solving skills. This week's task is problem-solving. So our problem-solving topic is going to be bullying. It's a really sensitive topic to a lot of the kids in the room because either they've been bullied, have been bullies, or have seen it happen to someone and didn't say anything.
My name is George. I go to Central, 16. Today we're basically working on a workshop about bullying, and I actually learned a lot, different type of bullying, like cyberbullying, physical bullying, mental bullying. It's just crazy because I've been bullying all my life and I didn't know this. Without me knowing that I'm bullying someone, I think I'm gonna stop that basically because I don't like bullying, I don't encourage bullying, it's just mean.
Everyone's been laughing and joking, but we're trying to start getting into a bit of more serious topics so that they can start leading themselves up to teaching this stuff. When you teach something, you gain that information. You're the one who knows that information the best. And that's the point. We want you to know the information, we want you to keep the information, but also be able to distribute the information. Let somebody else go through the same thing you went through.
So my name is Susan Anderson. I am 20 years old and I'm a Youth in Action alum. In school, it's kind of like you sit there and the teacher's talking at you. You know, there is no platform for you to really engage in the class or to contribute anything to the classroom because you just have to take in and do the work, do as you say. You have no really way of learning about yourself or learning about anything other than what the teacher wants you to learn. You know, you go to high school and it's kind of like, you know, you're a student and you're smart, you're supposed to listen to everyone and that's it and not say anything. But here, Youth in Action is kind of like, they make you think about, you know, your role in society and who you are as a young person. You know, kind of expanding the definition of what we are as young people, you know.
The purpose of the private school system should be to create an insatiable appetite for learning. What's compensating for that is the incredible after-school program that's going on in the city. The unfortunate part of it is that we're only touching, you know, a fraction of the population of young people that deserve these opportunities.
And I think what was always amazing about Youth in Action is the way that it's always asked a whole lot of the young people who step in those doors. It's saying, you know, bring your story, bring your personality, bring the things you're dealing with and struggling with, but you're going to be asked to contribute. You're going to be asked to contribute and become a leader in your community in very real ways.
Yeah, I think when, you know, when things weren't going so well at home, or when I was like, come to that age where I recognized that the world was this crazy big place, you know, that was sometimes scary. I think Youth in Action for me helped me to see that I could do something about it.
One of the big problems with our national conversation is a kind of anti-community activist public platform, when all communities need resources to help themselves. It's not just that, you know, people are looking for handouts or entitlements, but that funding grassroots organizations is the only way to really fund the social glue that makes democracy work.
I want everyone to know how we feel when we walk into Youth in Action every day. We walk into Youth in Action feeling like we're doing something greater than just us being here. We're doing something for the actual community. And for those of you who contributed to making us feel like that, thank you.
I'm very grateful to have helped to start Youth in Action and just have been part of that, part of its birth.
We need more places like this in the world. You know, I wish school felt like what Youth in Action felt like.
Support this organization and keep them going. That's what you need to do.
I think it's really critically important work, and it's great that we have it in our city.
I definitely want to say thank you to anybody who has donated in the past, and thank you to everyone who's been a part of Youth in Action. And hopefully we can last for another 15 years. We really need it. I was about to say bug out.